to another episode of the Florida Gridiron Report here on the Varsity Sports Network. Bobby Latmore, joined by Coach Dan LaForest and the coach, Kyle Hayes from CoachHayesFootball.com. Welcome to another night of great high school football here in the state of Florida. And ladies and gentlemen, we have got the show for you tonight. Larry Blustein from South Florida, Blustein Scouting down there, the guru of high school football for all over the state, will be joining us tonight. We are so excited to have him on board. And Coach Hayes, I know you are pumped up on this one tonight.
I am, man. Look, our boy Blue, as he's so affectionately called on Twitter, I believe, is one of the best at it. And I've known him for the past 20 years. When I first started coaching, he was one of the first guys I met, see him on the sideline. Hey, coach, who's this guy? You know, I'm just getting started. I'm wondering, who is this guy? And so I asked the older coach, he's like, man, that's Blue, man. He know about all these kids. And so with that being said, that's how I was born. And he knows all of the talent in South Florida and the state of Florida as well, probably all over the nation.
Dan, we were talking to him a little bit here prior week to this interview coming up, and he goes all the way back, man, to 1960. Looking at high school football. I mean, what an incredible career Larry Blustein has had down there in South Florida.
Yeah, you got to take a look at his Rolodex. I mean, how many great players over the course of 40, 50 years he's been involved that have started right here in the Sunshine State and have played at the college and the professional level. He's got the relationships. He's got the memories of some of the greatest players ever to play here.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, the stories he was telling prior week when we were coming up to this, we were going, hold on, Larry, we want to get this all on the show, because he was ready to go when we were talking to him earlier. So we can't wait to have him on here, and we appreciate him for taking the time out here coming up. So without wasting any more time, we're going to get on out of here and come back with Larry Blustein from Blustein Scouting after this here on the Florida Gridiron Report. You're watching all of it here on the Varsity Sports Network.
We are the Olympia Titans, and you're watching the Florida Gridiron Report
on Varsity Sports Network.
The Florida Gridiron Report is brought to you by Security Financial Management, Gators Dockside Grill, the A-Team with Charles Ruttenberg Realty, and Sports Thread.
The best part of my job is helping people realize not only their dreams, but also their potential. My name is Dan LaForest, and I am a wealth advisor with Security Financial Management. No matter how good you may be at a skill, it's always important to have a coach to help you refine those skills and game plan for the next challenge. Helping clients realize the process will give them the confidence of knowing that we have taken the appropriate steps to protect themselves and their families.
Why did the golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one.
Now that's what I call a rib tickler. And here's something else you'll get a kick out of. Come into Gators Dockside during Rib Fest and enjoy delicious fall-off-the-bone ribs, char-grilled to order in one of 5 amazing flavors. For wings, seafood, sports, and ribs, you know where to go. It's Rib Fest at Gators Dockside. Meet me at the dock.
Hi, I'm Angel Carlson, and I'm with the A-Team of Charles Ruttenberg Realty. We're located in delightful downtown DeLand, and we service all of Central Florida. Our team is here to serve you for all of your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest. There is no time like the present to sell your existing home and buy your new one with the A-Team. Call me, Angel Carlson, so the A-Team can deliver your dream today.
This is Sports Thread, and this is the new free Sports Thread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the Sports Thread app today. Sports Thread, it's always free.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back here to the Varsity Sports Network and the Florida Gridiron Report. And folks, we cannot be more pleased and honored to have one of the top high school football coordinators, prospect guy, recruiters, you name it. He is the man here in the state of Florida. Larry Blustein from Blustein Recruiting and Scouting down in South Florida. Larry, thank you so much for being on the show with us tonight.
Oh, my pleasure, Bobby. Glad to join you and Dan and Coach Hayes. It's Coach Hayes is all home week for me. He's a 305 guy, so we treat him with a lot of special care, like sitting out in the car waiting for his practices and lightning. So we love the guy, and it's my pleasure, guys. I watched your episode with Dwight, and I go, wow, Dwight's my buddy. He's been my buddy for 5 decades. I mean, almost 6, and we work together. A lot of people go, oh, you guys have there's no rivalry. I mean, our objective is to get the kids out, and Kyle knows that. That's why Kyle does it. I mean, you got to get the kids seen, and we had 520 kids out of the 2020 class that signed Division I level. That's a whole lot. Now, that's after they finished prep school, but that class that originally signed, they had quite a few kids. So that's where we're looking at every year. That's not to mention 1AA. I still use those 1A and 1AA, so you could excuse me, but that's how I categorize them. And we have so many kids now with the just in South Florida with the addition of 2 NAIA programs over the last couple of years. I'm telling you, you look at Florida Memorial, which is located in Miami Gardens, same thing as St. Thomas University, Miami Gardens. And if you wanted to pick an epicenter, and I'm sure Coach Hayes will back me up, for not just football talent, but for talent, Miami Gardens may be the #1 place in the world because you have Olympic gold medalists from them. You have Major League Baseball players. You have basketball, NBA basketball guys. And I can't even tell you Amari Coopers and a billion other Miami Gardens kids that are playing in the NFL. So that's what those 2 schools have. So you think about that. And then you have Kaiser University, perhaps one of the best coaches, the young coaches around, and Coach Doug Sosha. I mean, 3 years and they're nationally rated, and #4 in the nation already. They've only lost twice in the last 3 years. It's amazing, guys. So we got to harness our talent, keep our talent down here, because now we have, I say my prayer for Florida Tech because that was a good try, but it's just too costly to run a program, especially when you're heading into a pandemic, and they were, that's a private school and it's really tough. That's why I give my kudos to places like Stetson, private school. They have to do a whole lot of fundraising just to keep that program down. And so we have a lot of avenues. Edward Waters, our boy Toriano, just got the head job up there. So we have so many schools now playing. It's great. Now outside the big 6 or whatever we call them now. So we have our own athletes. We got to take care of our own athletes. We don't want to just see them skipping out and going to, Midwest and, it's going to happen, guys. I mean, you're going to lose kids, obviously, but let's keep a majority of them home. I'm Florida, Florida State, Miami, UCF, USF, FAU, FIU, and Bethune, and Florida A&M. I mean, holy mackerel! You look at I do a thing where I look at rosters all the time. And all of those schools, Florida A&M and Bethune, they're 96% Florida kids. So bravo, so I love that. We have a place to groom these kids and to produce them. So we need to have an outlet. We don't want to rely on places outside the area. So, and we're doing it. We have, I think, close to 20. We dropped 1. So we have close to 20 schools that are playing football. Not bad.
Larry, you brought up a good point there is, Gus Malzahn was just hired by UCF, and he's going to be actually at the Orlando Touchdown Club this Monday night.
Sweet.
Right out of the gate, his comment was, we're going to recruit Florida like our hair is on fire.
Yeah.
That has been a marketing push for UCF, and they have really ridden that here through the spring. What's it going to take to keep these guys from leaving the state of Florida? How do we get back to the 80s and 90s? Coach Hayes and I have kind of tossed about this, where Florida State, Miami, they weren't playing to win; they were playing for national championships.
Yeah. It's just a different time right now. We're just in a different time, and once you harness something like Alabama has, like Clemson has, it's even with coaching changes, it's tough to let go of that. I mean, USC had it at one point where they had that mojo. There's nothing that they could do but win. I think Florida right now, University of Florida is in a position where they're ready. They're knocking on the door to join that elite group. And that's pretty good because, I mean, to be in that elite group, you've got to win pretty decent in a tough conference. I mean, let's face it. Georgia, is right now in that either in that mix, but they could go either way, you see, and that's a thing. You're in the SEC, it's a prize fight, it's a tag team thing. You get in there and you better have your gloves up, because if you don't, you're out. And to me, I don't know if you guys feel this way. I think that the best job in the country is Vanderbilt. They play by far the toughest schedule in the toughest conference in the best city, one of the best cities in America. How would you not want to get that job?
And a quality education.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that the other day. Look at their schedule and look at where they play and look at that city. And if you're a country western,
they just announced also they're dumping a bunch of money in their athletic facilities.
It's about time. Baseball-wise, they've been dominating for years. You get guys like Price out of there and guys that could play and fill rosters, on major league rosters. That's what you're looking for. And a school like them and Duke, who are upper echelon. I don't think anybody realizes, but Duke and Virginia, who maybe not have powerhouses in football, those are 1-2 in the ACC and winning percentage in all sports. So, see, that's pretty crazy. You say, oh, Miami, Florida State, Boston. No, it's those two, because they dominate in soccer and field hockey and basketball. You know what I'm saying? So volleyball and girls softball, women's softball and baseball. Duke was 49-12. So that's what I'm saying. You obviously, football runs the show. They pay the bills, but you got to understand, and I tell all the recruits this, when you go up for a visit, check out everything. Walk through everything. I mean, Antoine Smith, running back at Florida State back in the day, who went to Pahokee, when they had him on an official visit, he broke off and went on by himself for almost 4 hours, just talking to regular students at FSU, just trying to, get away. He was at the science building. He was in history. He was in music. He was anywhere but sports. And he had told me that story. And I go, you know what? You need to tell that story to somebody who it's going to impact, because I'll tell you what, that's awesome. And the kid Abrams that used to play in Apopka, same thing when he went to Mississippi. He was telling me, oh, yeah, I didn't worry about, the athletics. I knew all about that. I just want to see, because I'm not going to get a degree in football. So I thought that was a really great comment. And you get these kids, and Coach Hayes will tell you that there's some kids who are just geared to that, be a college student, get in there, play some great football, get their degree, and you're John Lynch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those type of guys, high-level guys.
Blue, it's funny you say that, just to talk about a little bit about the smaller schools. Just as you know this, man, 20 years ago, and a big shout out to Miami Northern Vikings wearing my maroon and gray. And that's where I started, and that's where me and you met. But a big shout out to the smaller programs 20 years ago that didn't exist. It was really just Florida State.
Yeah.
UCF was around. We know USF started later. There wasn't a Florida Tech. There wasn't a FAU, FIU.
West Florida, our most successful program.
Yeah, West Florida. So it gives, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's so important. It gives so many of these Florida guys another avenue to go on to college, because if you didn't play in those top 4 or 5 programs, you didn't play. You went on and got a job or just went to college as a student. So it gave them an opportunity to go to school for free. And I thought that was great. So big shout out to those guys, man. And also, like I say, Vanderbilt is tough, man. It's a tough gig. I understand what you're saying all around, but as a coach, it's a tough, because the academic standards are so high. That
Stanford's been to many games and won them.
Right.
That's true.
Northwestern. Go ask Coach Fitz, man. He'll tell you.
You're right, man. You're right.
We'll be back with more right after this. You're watching the Florida Gridiron Report on Varsity Sports Network.
The best part of my job is helping people realize not only their dreams, but also their potential. My name is Dan LaForest, and I am a wealth advisor with Security Financial Management. No matter how good you may be at a skill, it's always important to have a coach, to help you refine those skills and game plan for the next challenge. Helping clients realize the process will give them the confidence of knowing that we have taken the appropriate steps to protect themselves and their families.
Why did the golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one.
Now that's what I call a rib tickler. And here's something else you'll get a kick out of. Come into Gators Dockside during Rib Fest and enjoy delicious fall off the bone ribs, char grilled to order in one of 5 amazing flavors. For wings, seafood, sports, and ribs, you know where to go. It's Rib Fest at Gators Dockside. Meet me at the dock.
Hi, I'm Angel Crowson, and I'm with the A-Team of Charles Ruttenberg Realty. We're located in delightful downtown DeLand, and we service all of Central Florida. Our team is here to serve you for all of your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest. There is no time like the present to sell your existing home and buy your new one with the A-Team. Call me, Angel Crowson, so the A-Team can deliver your dream today.
This is Sports Thread, and this is the new free Sports Thread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the Sports Thread app today. Sports Thread, it's always free.
It definitely can be done, man. But yeah, definitely, man. So I'm glad to see you here, man. We've been around each other for quite some time, and I'm glad to see you back and back on these sidelines and checking out these young men and helping them move on to the next level. And for those that don't say thank you, I'm telling you thank you on behalf of them, man, because you've done a lot for a lot of people that don't realize it, man. So thank you, our boy Blue.
Thank you, man. And I was on the sideline yesterday at West Orange High School watching that Under Armour, and I'll tell you what, we're in good hands for a long while. They even trotted out a couple of 25 kids. That were going to be special. Yeah, those kids are in 8th grade now. And then they had obviously Richard Young, who was supposed to be the #1 running back from the class of 2023 out of over here at Lehigh. He's the deal. He's fast, but running backs this year, we have wide receivers for the class of 23, not so much a class of 2022, but everywhere. I saw a kid at Orlando Edgewater yesterday. He's a freshman. He's 6'5", 275-pound defensive tackle, coach. Holy mackerel. And that's what I'm saying. You're getting a lot of these kids. And I'll tell you, a lot of people don't talk about one program in South Florida because obviously they used to get to the point where they would get to one level and then get beat. And that may still happen because obviously they're in with St. Thomas's district. But Dillard, here's a program that's won 18 of their last 19 games. And here's the deal, guys. They are like no other school, it may be in the country. They are a big school that is 6 through 12 grades. They had 5 8th graders for Dillard playing on varsity last year. I'm telling you, they won because they didn't play in the state championship. They won their division last year. They went 6-0. They outscored the opposition like 900-6. I mean, they were unbelievable. They have 2 kids that are going to be seniors, Nigelique Kelly and Trevon Mortimer, both signed with are committed to FSU. And I'm telling you, Dillard is a program, even though right down the block, 3rd game of the season district is St. Thomas. But you know what? We saw last year when you get a line play and good coaching like Cardinal Gibbons had, they dominated if you watch back on that game against St. Thomas last year, that's how Cardinal Gibbons beat them. That was the first team in 4 years since Miramar beat them locally. They don't usually lose locally. So, and that was huge. It gave Cardinal Gibbons and Coach DeBuck a huge boost. I mean, you beat one of the powerhouses, and now you go out and you recruit in the same Catholic communities. That's the crazy thing. Now you get to tug a kid in your direction, and but that's South Florida, as Coach Hayes will tell you, it's pretty much that inner city's running it, and it's like no other place in the country. Think about it. Dallas, Houston, LA, Chicago. No other inner city has football that wins championships like that. It's usually basketball. Like Chicago had 18 deemed inner city schools last year. 16 of those 18 teams made it 3 rounds deep. In football, only 1 made it. So it shows you how from the Dade-Broward line all the way to where the inner city of Miami leaves, it's the craziest 7 miles of talent you've ever seen. And you've got in that little thing from Booker T. Washington to Miami High is right in on that border. And Miami High, I mean, they dominated football for 5 centuries. I mean, back in the day, they were the only team. But you look at those teams in Jackson and Edison with Luther Campbell, who's doing a really good job. He's got another really good team. Then you've got your hardcore Northwestern, you got your Central, you got your Norland, you got your Carroll City. And those teams, guys, right there, they play each other. More teams are afraid outside the area to play them. Now they've got to play each other 4 or 5 times a year. So that's what makes it a meat grinder. Orlando's becoming like that because you're getting those schools like Seminole and Apopka. And obviously we talked about Edgewater and the coach that Cam's done. He's done a great job. I mean, we know that Edgewater could win. We've seen him before. We've seen him win under Gurgley and whatever before. They've won in the past. I remember when they lost to Carroll City and Willie Williams up at Tallahassee. Willie Williams broke the kid Dunn's ankle on the thing, but we've seen it before.
Broke his arm.
Yeah,
He's a good friend of Mike Dunn. And it's funny you said that about Edgewater because they started off. We actually beat them that first year in Tallahassee at the Barn Burner. Then they played Carroll City. Then they played Killian. That 3-year stretch.
Yes.
Then they go back up this year and play. So they're right there. I've said that before on one of our previous shows. Orlando Edgewater is right there. They just got that one more push, man, so they can go ahead and get the championship.
I agree with you. And, guys, you lose a guy like the kid Tommy Hill, who I know that the other young man, the running back who went to Alabama, got all the pub, but boy, Tommy Hill is a freak. I mean, plays both. I mean, I know right now that Herman Edwards has got to be the happiest man in the world because you've got a safety that's big time and you got a receiver can play.
He stole him.
Yeah, he stole
him.
He really
did. And it's funny you say that, Blue, that. And me, Dan, and even Bobby, we talk about losing our guys like a Tommy Hill he wasn't a sleeper, right? So I understand you may lose a sleeper that kind of goes out there and then he turns into something.
Yeah.
But to lose a guy, I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. We all know that. But we got to get the rivalries back within the big three because that helps college football. That helps the rivalries. I mean, you just think about the games between Miami and Florida State. You think about the game between Florida and Florida State. Florida would never play Miami, hardly. But I'm going to leave that at that. That's for another episode. But the rivalries were created so just for college football, and it just made it great. And so I was talking to Kareem Brown. He was on my show last night.
Oh, nice.
I do a Canes Talk live show. And he was talking about the rivalries and those things, playing Florida State, going up against guys at another school, but you probably grew up playing with those guys right along with them. And they just decided to go to Florida State and you're in Miami and you guys are banging heads on Saturday, man. So we got to keep those great talents in the state.
No doubt.
The Florida Gridiron Report is brought to you by Security Financial Management, Gators Dockside Grill, the A-Team with Charles Ruttenberg Realty, and Sports Thread.
The best part of my job is helping people realize not only their dreams, but also their potential. My name is Dan LaForest, and I am a wealth advisor with Security Financial Management. No matter how good you may be at a skill, it's always important to have a coach to help you refine those skills and game plan for the next challenge. Helping clients realize the process will give them the confidence of knowing that we have taken the appropriate steps to protect themselves and their families.
Why did the golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one.
Now that's what I call a rib tickler. And here's something else you'll get a kick out of. Come into Gators Dockside during Rib Fest and enjoy delicious fall-off-the-bone ribs, char grilled to order in one of 5 amazing flavors. For wings, seafood, sports, and ribs, you know where to go. It's Rib Fest at Gators Dockside. Meet me at the dock.
Hi, I'm Angel Crowson, and I'm with the A-Team of Charles Ruttenberg Realty. We're located in delightful downtown DeLand, and we service all of Central Florida. Our team is here to serve you for all of your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest. There is no time like the present to sell your existing home and buy your new one with the A-Team. Call me, Angel Crowson, so the A-Team can deliver your dream today.
This is Sports Thread, and this is the new free Sports Thread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the Sports Thread app today. Sports Thread, it's always free.
Let's talk a little bit about South Florida football right now. FHSA came out this year with the new districts. One of the questions I want to ask you, because you're in touch and tuned down there with sports, what are the coaches saying this year about that new district alignment? And talk to us a little bit about what some good teams that are going to be playing each other this year, because some of them teams moved up and down, and we know of a couple. You mentioned Miami Central moving down to 5A, which is a huge thing for them. I mean, talk to us about where South Florida football is right now, high school football.
Well, yeah, to answer your first question, I don't really think that the coaches are, they're basing it on the enrollment, and I mean, I guess you can't fight enrollment unless you're Columbus. You see, now Columbus don't have that many, and they get to double their attendance. They may be a 3 or 4A school if they didn't, but speaking about Columbus, we'll start at 8A, and I think that right now Columbus brings back a quarterback. Let's face it. I mean, they got lucky to beat Apopka, but that grew them up in a year where they were 5-5 at one point and got the clock run on them by University School. And I was at that game. It was the shortest game I'd ever been to, ever. The game started at 7, and I swear to you guys, I was out of there at 8:21. And I had never been out of a game. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, Columbus just got the clock run on them. And then the next week they played Dillard and lost 15-14. And then the week after that, they went to Delray Atlantic, who had beaten Chaminade earlier in the year, and they beat them. And they went on a little bit of a run. And I saw them in a game, and I made this stupid statement at the end of the game to one of the reporters. I said, Columbus is going to win the state title. You watch. And we were walking across. He goes, I'll bet you a steak dinner. I said, okay, that's easily, because I said, right now they're running on all cylinders. Well, let me tell you, after they got that miracle against the Pop guy, texted that guy, and I go, you owe me. So, I think Columbus, real good coaching. Coach Dunn took over for Coach Merritt, who had been there for a lot of years. And Coach Dunn was there 20 years ago. And then what he did is he went on to college experience, and he worked at FAU in Maine and a lot of other schools, and a really good guy. He came back. It really wasn't a lose-lose situation, because you come in after a team had gone to state, lost, but they had gone to state, and so that's a lot. And you start out 5-5, so the pressure was really on him. He came through. I think last year they won that Tri-County, so I think they start out along with Deerfield Beach as the two teams that I think in South Florida that really have the most. Now you have Western and you have Palmetto, who also have players, but I don't think they have as much. And Columbus really, they've got a quarterback, and that makes a difference. Palmetto's quarterback, who went out in the Dr. Phillips game, like really early in the Dr. and he was finished. So that's that, and he was okay. He's done a good job. So he comes back, but he missed all of last year, the 5 games, and I think that the Lake Nona game must have put everybody to sleep. Because neither team got across midfield. So I think from that standpoint, 7A, it always, you go right through Davie Boulevard right there at St. Thomas. I mean, obviously, they're going to get kicked in the boots a little bit by Dillard, but it's not Dillard's time yet. Dillard still they don't have the horses up front that St. Thomas did. That's the one thing. St. Thomas took that basket, went shopping early this year. They got all their kids, and then they got an All-American back last week. So, and Armella, who had left and went to Columbus, ironically, but he came back. So they're in good hands. They have a really good quarterback. Kids won 2 state titles for them. So I think they're in the driver's seat, definitely 7A. And Venice is an 8A now. So they could pretty much make reservations if they get by Dillard. And then 6A now becomes a little bit of a ball game, but not much, because Northwestern takes Central's place, with really Palmetto of Bradenton area being the only opposition in reality. And Northwestern is, they were okay about 5 weeks ago, and now they're better than okay. So you keep adding building blocks. And now 5A becomes really interesting. You have a team in American Heritage who I know they're private and all that, but I think they get so disrespected. They've won the state title 4 out of the last 6 years, right, and will have 7 kids drafted in the NFL this coming draft. 7 kids drafted in the NFL. They get and they finally beat Northwestern last year, went on and won without an offense. Well, that's changed because they got the number 1 receiver in all of America for 2023 and Brandon Innes to come over from university school. And they got a kid who's really hot now in the Santana Fleming. So they got their receivers. They've got, in my estimation, and I've watched Young, I've watched Baxter, I've watched them all, but I think the kid Fletcher from American Heritage is the best all-around back in the state for 2023. He's bigger. You can't get faster than Young because Young's a track kid. So obviously, but I watched Young twice in person, and he's got okay vision. But the thing is, what he relies on, just breaking that first plane or getting a block, because once he gets that block, hasta mañana, because he's gone. But the thing about, if you watch a state title game this year, Coach, with Rickards, you could see the way that Fletcher runs, just tackle to tackle. Then if he has to, he'll get outside. He's 6 foot. He's about 212, big back. And he's got 2 kids, ironically, right after him that should be getting more playing time because they need to rest him. But he's a key. And the reason why I'm harping on him is he's the key, because Coach Hayes will tell you, when you get to game 12, 11 of the season, Miami Central's not missing on too many cylinders. And that's when they'll have to play. They'll have to play the second round, just like they played Northwestern last year. Northwestern was gone early. Northwestern's not used to being gone the second round of the playoffs. Well, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have Central and American Heritage playing in the second round. And to me, Central's just a solid football team, as well coached. I think, and I'm making a statement that's really true, I think that Roland Smith surpassed every coach in Dade County history as far as successful. He's a class act. Coach, am I wrong? I mean, this guy's won 7 state titles.
Oh, it's funny you say that, Blue. I was just telling the guys I did a show with them. I had Roland Smith, I had AJ Snipes, and I even had the principal, Greg Bethune, on. And I labeled them as the best team in South Florida in the past decade.
Yeah.
Over St. Thomas, over Northwestern, just because of what they've accomplished. I mean, they've been to the state title 8 times, won 7. And that's not including Roland Smith's state championship when he was at Northwestern.
Sure.
Also, the things that they have to deal with that maybe St. Thomas doesn't have to deal with. Their coaches are not in the building. Like I say, AJ actually gets out the car at 4 o'clock, coaching, so the guys are not in the building, and so it's a lot of things. I mean, Coach Roland Smith teaches 8 classes a day and still has a full football team. So I took my hat off to those guys and I want to give them a special tribute. So I've been getting a little flack from those Northwestern Bulls now.
Yeah,
when I made that statement. But
I
it's
would
true.
imagine. Hey, Bobby. When you take a look at Dan and Bobby, when you hear what he's saying, those 2 schools are separated by 21 blocks. So those are 21 tough blocks. And here with Coach Hayes kind of putting some more lighter fluid on those 21 blocks with his statement there. I'm telling you, yeah, they're pretty successful. I would say they're both equally as successful, but Central, just something about
just in the past decade, I'm saying.
Exactly.
I think Northwestern overall as a program from start to finish, maybe, but within his last 10 years, seriously, within the last 10 years, what these guys have accomplished, is amazing. And then, Northwestern said, well, Coach, how they best team and we beat them. Well, I understand that, but you know what? People also beat LeBron James. He's still a national champion. He still won the championship. But, that's not the deal. But I just think just the things that they've accomplished with the fights that they've had, like I say, you got people are wishing to go to the playoffs or just wishing to get to the state game.
Well, and the other thing,
these guys are 7 of 8 now.
I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't understand is building a good team, but also building a program, how much more important that is, because you can have a season where you're not maybe at that highest level, but you're a step away and you're going to get that step. And that starts with the coaching staff. It starts with community support. And the great ones have figured out that cocktail, right? They figured out that recipe of what makes a great program.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. It was crazy last year for what these coaches were going through. Obviously, everybody went through it. Less in the northern part of the state, because as I do these previews, you go from Dade County schools that played 4 regular season games, to some of those panhandle teams that had 14 and 15 games. So it was different, but all along, for some reason, whenever I talked to Coach Roland Smith, he just felt that they were going to win this thing no matter who or what. He just felt that they were ready for it. They have, I think, one of the top, this is a lot to say because we don't produce many quarterbacks, but they've got this kid Lights Out that they have. He was at the camp yesterday and did real well. Left-hander, came ironically from Carroll City. So see those things, people don't realize those when they transfer from school to school. It's not like them going from East River to Apopka. We're talking you're running into the families right there at the local store, and it's uncomfortable. You just yanked your son out of the head coach's school who was supposed to be, well respected, and then those are tough times, and they all hang and they go to the same clubs and the wing spots. All those play they know. It's just
church.
It's one group. It's like, I always remember back in the day in the Orlando area that when I used to, come up here a lot, they had really one inner city school, which was Jones. But then all of a sudden Oak Ridge became one and Evans became one. See, and that's what's happened. Even you could consider, Coach Hayes, you could consider North Miami and North Miami Beach. North Miami's 82% Haitian. So, and that's my alma mater. So, but I'm saying, you look at those schools and they all are basic inner city type of schools now. And it's crazy. It's a crazy environment.
The Florida Gridiron Report is brought to you by Security Financial Management, Gators Dockside Grill, the A-Team with Charles Ruttenberg Realty, and Sports Thread.
The best part of my job is helping people realize not only their dreams, but also their potential. My name is Dan LaForest, and I am a wealth advisor with Security Financial Management. No matter how good you may be at a skill, it's always important to have a coach to help you refine those skills and game plan for the next challenge. Helping clients realize the process will give them the confidence of knowing that we have taken the appropriate steps to protect themselves and their families.
Why did the golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one.
Now that's what I call a rib tickler. And here's something else you'll get a kick out of. Come into Gators Dockside during Rib Fest and enjoy delicious fall off the bone ribs, char grilled to order in one of 5 amazing flavors. For wings, seafood, sports, and ribs, you know where to go. It's Rib Fest at Gators Dockside. Meet me at the dock.
Hi, I'm Angel Crowson, and I'm with the A-Team of Charles Ruttenberg Realty. We're located in delightful downtown DeLand, and we service all of Central Florida. Our team is here to serve you for all of your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest. There is no time like the present to sell your existing home and buy your new one with the A-Team. Call me, Angel Crowson, so the A-Team can deliver your dream today.
This is Sports Thread, and this is the new free Sports Thread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the Sports Thread app today. Sports Thread, it's always free.
Oh, New Orleans,
Carroll City. Yeah, but I mean, but you think about the times and how it's changed, the demographics have changed over the years. You know, Carroll City itself and all of those things. So yeah, it's true. And then now they've taken on an inner city type feel. But yeah, I mean, it's just amazing how much talent right there in the area.
You know, the thing, guys, is like Carroll City when we were going to high school was, I guess, like 70% white. And in fact, the last white quarterback they had was in 1972, and then they had Buck Calvert a couple years ago, Buckshot Calvert, who ended up going to Liberty and breaking all the records up at Liberty University. He was a 4-year starter, but Buck, I mean, it's just the thing is these kids play with and against each other now, so it doesn't really matter. You know, it really doesn't, because they see each other, they travel with each other, they hang out. Back in my era, it was more the segregation was just being loosened and things were, you know, but now it's no big thing. You know, I mean, the kids are just, you know, I mean, and we wish the rest of the world would respond like that. But it seems like for an athletic communities, if you ever see, no matter if it's girls basketball or boys football, these kids are gravitating. They don't look at the color of the skin. And that's the best, you know, because these kids are, all they care about is winning football games, getting their diplomas. So it's really come a long way. And, you know, I saw your segment with Dwight. I love Dwight. Dwight's my boy, and I've always loved Dwight. But the whole thing is when we first started in this, there was no cell phone. I used to have a bucket of change that I had to use payphones all the time, and I would have. I mean, and we used to have this little video recorder, cassette recorder. It was like a boombox. You had to hang it in front of somebody. And yeah, I mean, people do not realize, I'm telling you, Bobby, you laugh, but it's true. It's really true. It's, you know, everybody always says, oh, you know, I say to these guys, you guys had it really tough. Let me tell you something. I mean, all you had to do is cut and paste everything that I do. I used to have to go and get that information. And I had to, you know, I would have to go all the way to Pensacola, or I'd have to go to Gainesville or Tallahassee or Orlando just to see if a kid's committing. Because, you know, oftentimes I probably had more money for gas than I did.
Or even converting that reel to reel to VCR tape, right?
That's how I got started in doing this, because my teammate, he was good. So what happened was he couldn't get anything. So I just sent this 16 millimeter. You guys don't even have a clue what that is. But if you ever watch these old films, if you see a classroom setting and they've got this big thing, that's a 16 millimeter. Well, I sent that darn thing all the way to Tennessee Chattanooga, or Tennessee Martin, for this kid, and he got a scholarship. And from then on, his mom came over, talked to my mom, and told me, this is what I should do. And I just sent the tape away. So I just started doing it. And that's how I began. And you see, so I tell these kids today, the one thing about recruiting, I mean, it's not hard, but you have to understand. I say, put yourself in the person's place that you're dealing with. Like if you're going to send this guy a film, would you want me to send that damn film to you 22 times? Would you really want that when you have all these things? I always say to the kid, after spring, midway through the season, end of the season, end the period, 3 tapes, and if they don't have interest after that, move on. Don't sit there and dwell, because everybody'd love to go to Ohio State or Alabama, but it's not feasible. It's really not. You could always go and and hang out and be part of the experience. But if you really have dog in you, you want to play the game. So you go anywhere it takes, you guys know, you've been around it long enough. Dan, you played. I mean, it's when it gets into your system, you want to continue. Sorry, Bobby, you too. No, I'm just saying, just you get it into your system, and these kids have, and that's what drives me to do it. I try to help these kids, because I give them another avenue via social media or my contacts. Because remember, I was the one who used to drive around in my car and listen to Jimbo Fisher try to tell me when he was at LSU or wherever he was. He would tell me, he goes, listen, I know all about that guy, but I got to know his character. And that's the one thing I try to tell these people. And Coach Hayes will tell you, you could have 90 Duke Johnson type of players, but if they're not 90 Duke Johnson total players, you're losing. So these kids, you could have everybody. There's a lot of kids that run a 4-4. A whole bunch that run a 4-4. I always tell a kid, you know what a 4-4 does for you if you can't play football? It gets you there faster to make a mistake. So if you don't know how to play the game, you don't know how to play the game.
Blue, let me ask you a quick question. What was the magazine? You used to have a little magazine when I first met you.
I still have it, but I haven't done it. I was looking on my shelf.
Yeah, no, but I remember when you first started and you had these magazines and we were playing one day, and Vilburn Toussaint was our linebacker. You remember him?
Yes.
He was Vilburn was so small. I know we kind of going down memory lane here. But Vilburn was probably my best linebacker over Antoine Barnes, who played in the NFL, Alexander Bostic. Vilburn was so small when he tucked his jersey and half his numbers was in his pants, right? But when I say this dude was he gave out like 6 concussions in one practice.
Dang.
He was tougher than bending a 2-inch nail. And I remember you saying, and I remember this point, we were at North Miami Stadium at FIU North, and we were talking, and I was telling you about Vilburn. I was like, Coach, Vilburn can play. And I remember you saying, yeah, he's a little small, but I'm going to see what I can do. And he ended up at Carson Newman.
Yeah. Tough
ended
kid.
up at Carson Newman. So he
was a dog. Yeah. And that's what I was telling you, Dan. That's what I'm saying. That's what the dog is. I mean, there's a lot of kids, like I look, and they look lazy and they look disinterested in playing the game, but they got all the physical tools. I mean, God's strange in that way, huh? That they'll make a guy with all that given talent and not have and no attitude, and then kids like us who would love to be in that situation and love to be 6'3" and 235 pounds and running a 4.5. So guys, it has changed so much throughout the years, and the great thing is I never left it, so I don't look, I mean, everyone will always say to me, I'm in my 60s and I've been around high schools, not in that way, but I've been around high schools since I never stopped. Ever since I left, I would always go to games. Ever since high school, after high school, I would come back or go to other games, and that's when I started doing more. I did the country for 12 years. And I got to go to all Seattle and New York State, Dallas billions of times. And we worked all these camps, and I got to, do all this stuff, and I liked it. And then I started doing the state, and I did the state up until 4 years ago. And then I told you, just in this off season last year, about a year ago, right during the pandemic, that Prep Red Zone came alive. They say, you want to do it? It required doing the state. I go, what the heck? So I did. And I went, I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere. So and I enjoy it, and I really do, and I love it. I always miss going through those little towns like Hitchka and Graceville and Lithia and Narcoossee and all those little places that no one ever hears of because they're off the beaten path, and going I back in the day, I remember 3 rivalries that I attended, and all of them, these were back in the late '70s, early '80s. Lake City, Columbia, and Live Oak, Swanee. Let me tell you something. You could have robbed any city that they were playing in because everybody was at those games. It was crazy. When Coach Pittman was at Swanee, oh yeah, and Lake City, Columbia had all those guys back in the day. They had always had tons. They were one to play Carroll City in the first game at Gainesville when all teams were at the same venue. That was that year.
We're going to Haggerty Huskies, and you're watching the Florida Gridiron Report
on Varsity Sports Network. The Florida Gridiron Report is brought to you by Security Financial Management, Gators Dockside Grill, the A-Team with Charles Ruttenberg Realty, and Sports Thread.
The best part of my job is helping people realize not only their dreams, but also their potential. My name is Dan LaForest, and I am a wealth advisor with Security Financial Management. No matter how good you may be at a skill, it's always important to have a coach to help you refine those skills and game plan for the next challenge. Helping clients realize the process will give them the confidence of knowing that we have taken the appropriate steps to protect themselves and their families.
Why did the golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one.
Now that's what I call a rib tickler. And here's something else you'll get a kick out of. Come into Gators Dockside during Rib Fest and enjoy delicious fall-off-the-bone ribs, char grilled to order in one of 5 amazing flavors. For wings, seafood, sports, and ribs, you know where to go. It's Rib Fest at Gators Dockside. Meet me at the dock.
Hi, I'm Angel Carlson, and I'm with the A-Team of Charles Ruttenberg Realty. We're located in delightful downtown DeLand, and we service all of Central Florida. Our team is here to serve you for all of your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest. There is no time like the present to sell your existing home and buy your new one with the A-Team. Call me, Angel Carlson, so the A-Team can deliver your dream today.
This is Sports Thread, and this is the new free Sports Thread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the Sports Thread app today. Sports Thread, it's always free.
Coach Blustein, I tell you what a great inspiration you are to everybody down there, no question about it. But let's talk a little bit about talking about these guys that are coming back to their communities. A lot of them are now coaching as well. Is that making from keeping these kids in that area now? It's not so much transferring anymore and keeping them in their home area, or what's that doing down here in South Florida? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, no. That transfer stuff's not ending. That's not. It's based on needs. Like, you're going to Publix and you go, I need this. So you take that off the shelf and it's yours for that year or whatever. But they do that well, and now it's open enrollment, so it doesn't really matter. And those schools are all under enrolled, so they could get 1 billion kids in if they want. It's just getting the transportation for the kids from outside the area. If you remember, I don't know if Coach Hayes remembers, but there was one year where they had 4 kids from Flanagan. That last year they had these 4 kids. Flanagan had won the state title, but Coach Bush, Devin Bush, who plays for the Steelers, his dad conveniently got a job at Michigan where his son went. And don't ask me. But anyway, and then Coach Samuels was doing, now he's at FAU. So what happened was there was only a handful of kids, and those handful of kids are really good. One of them starts now at USF. He's a defensive end, and so they all went over there for that 1 year at Central, and but that happens. I mean, that's like going from. Here's a perfect example. It's like going from Sanford to Lake Howell. Okay, so that's a pretty good ride. I'm a different county type of thing, and doesn't happen very often. But the whole thing is when you take a look at, you were talking about pro guys, and that's the one thing no matter where you're at. I mean, you have Cedric Irvin, who was a great football player at Michigan State, played in the NFL. I mean, his kids plays at Gulliver, and he hangs out close to the game. But nothing is as much as Pat Surtain, and you got to remember, Pat's a head football coach. I mean, that's not something that when you're not used to carrying your own bags for 8 years in the NFL, that you're looking forward to putting spot remover on your uniforms and all that stuff. You see, that's not the MO. That Donnell Bennett, when he was the coach, Donnell played 8 years, Kansas City and such, and went to University of Miami. And Donnell was the head coach for a lot of years. He coached Stacy Coley, who went to University of Miami at Northeast, and he just wasn't that type of guy. I mean, it happens. But you get Jason Taylor, and here's a guy who's Hall of Fame. He's on everything. He's got a show on QVC with his wife. He does everything. But I'll tell you what, he takes that defensive coordinator position so darn serious because it's him. It's him. And remember, before that, they had Madison, Sam Madison, who by the way, he's been in the last 2 Super Bowls for Kansas City as a DB coach. I mean, you see, that's what happens. And then you have Chris Carter when his kid was there. So St. Thomas is kind of a magnet. See, you don't get that at the inner city schools too much. I mean, a lot of their coaches, like Roland had a chance to play professionally, but he was really good in college. And Max Edwards, they've all played at smaller schools like Ice Harris and guys. But in Broward, for some reason, they gravitate towards that. And a lot of the parents, although Florida Christian's got this kid Antonio Robinson, his father played in the NFL with Green Bay, and that's the best part. Even if you get these parents around the kids for, these superstars for 4 years or 3 years or whatever it is, it's great because it kind of kicks your program a little bit. They'll teach you, if it's a DB, they'll teach your DB kids, because I watch Pat Surtain and Sam Madison and Darryl Porter and Aronde Gadsden and all those guys that are on the Heritage staff. I mean, they're not just names, guys. I mean, they teach. And I watched them, and Roger Harriet at St. Thomas wouldn't have it any other way. He doesn't want, and I'm sure Jason Taylor would never do that. And his kids, one of them graduated last year, is going to go to Arizona. And now the other one, who is more like him, the other one was 5'9". This one's like 6'4", 6'5", and he's going to start for St. Thomas this year at tight end. But St. Thomas guys will be my pick in the 7A, I think. In 6A, I think he got Northwestern. 5A is going to come down to that monster Heritage against Central game. I think 8A, like I said, is Columbus. I think Columbus is well coached. They may make up for what they may not have in talent. They're just really well coached. And then I think 4A, Cardinal Gibbons. We talked about that before we went on. I think Cardinal Gibbons, they came and they delivered a pretty good blow last year to a fairly hot Jacksonville Bowls team, and they beat St. Thomas. Their only loss was to Heritage. So things go around. And I think that, it's so much competition just to get there, so like Lake Minneola last year, they've got to thank their stars that they got there. A program that's relatively new in an area, in Lake County area where there's not a whole lot of football talent. I mean, believe me, I've ridden the Tavares and freaking road all the way down there, the Eustis and oh man. A lot of times, Mount Dora, good coaches, good foundations, good areas, but they're not going to be a mill of football talent. But that's why I say Lake Minneola's got to be happy what they did last year, and I'm sure they are.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, just a one-time deal for them. They could be back next year. We'll have to see what goes on. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Larry, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are just a blessing for this
Thanks,
whole show.
guys.
I mean, I know Coach Hayes and Dan have both, reiterate my thing, and I'm glad you said that you showed the love to Hayes because he doesn't get love from anybody else. So I'm glad you showed him.
Yeah, and actually, if you could go back, I would love to see the recruiting profile on Kyle Hayes.
Yes, we definitely got to see that.
I don't want you to bring mine up, but I want to see Hayes.
Yeah, Kyle. Well, I can tell you this. Kyle's always been a passionate player. He's a passionate guy. He loves the game, and that's so important. People don't realize that, your zest for the game, I mean, you could become an overachiever overnight, just the way you approach the game mentally. And, Kyle's a good guy, and I'm glad for what he's doing. That New Orleans shirt's been bothering me the whole show, but I haven't said anything. That's okay. Next time I'll go over to my corner there and get my North Miami hat, but that's all right.
Oh, man. That's funny, man. Well, Blue, thank you, man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We'll do it again.
Absolutely. Thank you, Larry. Larry Blustein, ladies and gentlemen, here from Blustein Scouting down here in South Florida. We'll take a break. When we come back, more here on the Florida Gridiron Report right here on the Varsity Sports Network.
The Florida Gridiron Report is brought to you by Security Financial Management, Gators Dockside Grill, the A-Team with Charles Ruttenberg Realty, and Sports Thread.
The best part of my job is helping people realize not only their dreams, but also their potential. My name is Dan LaForest, and I am a wealth advisor with Security Financial Management. No matter how good you may be at a skill, it's always important to have a coach to help you refine those skills and game plan for the next challenge. Helping clients realize the process will give them the confidence of knowing that we have taken the appropriate steps to protect themselves and their families.
Why did the golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one.
Now that's what I call a rib tickler. And here's something else you'll get a kick out of. Come into Gators Dockside during Rib Fest and enjoy delicious fall-off-the-bone ribs, char-grilled to order in one of 5 amazing flavors. For wings, seafood, sports, and ribs, you know where to go. It's Rib Fest at Gators Dockside. Meet me at the dock.
Hi, I'm Angel Crowson, and I'm with the A-Team of Charles Ruttenberg Realty. We're located in delightful downtown DeLand, and we service all of Central Florida. Our team is here to serve you for all of your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest. There is no time like the present to sell your existing home and buy your new one with the A-Team. Call me, Angel Crowson, so the A-Team can deliver your dream today.
This is Sports Thread, and this is the new free Sports Thread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the Sports Thread app today. Sports Thread, it's always free.
Welcome back, everybody, here to the Florida Gridiron Report, here on the Varsity Sports Network. Bobby Latmore, Coach Dan LaForest, and Coach Kyle Hayes all joining us now. And guys, what a phenomenal interview with Larry Blustein. I am so pumped up. I had so much fun talking to him, and he just took over the whole interview. And you got to love a guy like that. Coach Hayes, I'll start with you. You guys reminisced so well talking about good old stories down there in South Florida. I mean, that had to be special for you tonight.
It was, man. Like I said in the intro, this guy can tell you about any and everybody, and he's full of stories, full of knowledge. And it's great just sitting around listening to what he has to say. And he's just an outstanding individual, great person, and his heart is in it for the kids, and that's what it's all about, to do something for 50 plus years. And it's all about the kids, man. And that's why I wanted to thank him during the episode, just publicly, if he hasn't gotten that from a few guys, because he deserves it. He's done a lot for a lot of people that don't even know that he's done it.
Oh, no question about it. And Dan, We talked about him. We've had some great people on our show. Dwight Thomas up there in Jacksonville. Now Larry Blustein down here in South Florida. I mean, what two great I don't want to say older guys, but just icons here in Florida high school football that have joined us here on the show. I mean, you can't get any better than Larry Blustein down here in South Florida.
Well, think about this, guys. We've been doing this for 9 weeks now, and look at what we've done with the Florida Gridiron Report. People wanted more high school football, and that's exactly what we're giving them. And I think we've been very fortunate to get these guys to buy into what we're trying to do. And I tell you, listening to Larry Blustein talk, I think I had another 8 questions I would have loved to have asked him in that time frame, because it just brought back so many memories of when I played that I just wanted to get his feedback on this or that. And, some of the things that are happening now, taking the correlation. You talk to somebody like him where he understands where this game has come from and how everything's kind of evolved. We could have done 3 or 4 shows with Larry.
Coach Hayes, I'm going to bring this up real quick. I'm glad we didn't get to that part of LaForest and him scouting LaForest and going back to all that. We'd have never got off this show if we'd have done that, but that's all right. Well, what a great time. Larry, we have so much fun on this show, and Larry just made it so much fun tonight. We are truly blessed to have had him on. The knowledge, Coach Hayes, that he has is incredible. He's talking about guys back when the last time the state championships were in Tallahassee. He's talking about Graceville, Weewa Hitchkill, when they won the titles a few years ago. I mean, not a few years ago, decades ago.
Moons ago.
He's talking about all these guys. What a wealth of knowledge Larry Blustein is to everybody. And you bring up a good point, Coach Hayes, and I want to reiterate that as well. Thank you to him for all he does, because it is true. He's all about the kids, isn't he?
He is, man. In every college, if any college has come to scout South Florida, there's 2 names they definitely must know, and that's Dwight Thomas and Larry Blustein. And their word is gold. If Larry Blustein or Dwight Thomas says that this kid is a go, that means that not only he's a player, he's also high on character. And so a lot of people don't realize, once you get that stamp of approval from a Larry Blustein or a Dwight Thomas, that solidifies your scholarship opportunity. And that's why the thank yous are so important, because a lot of guys don't realize, Blue and Dwight Thomas has given their stamp of approval for that college to say, you know what, let's pull the trigger on this young man.
Good point. Definitely a good point. Dan, when can we get Larry and Dwight on the show at the same time?
I think we're working on that now. But, going back to some of the things that Larry said was very important. We talked about character, but anybody can run a 4-4. It's having the character. It's having the vision. Talking about some of the kids that they were tuned in of going to college. They wanted to get their degree. These are the types of things that college coaches really want to hear about kids. And I think that's a good message for a lot of these young people out there is, hey, listen, you're doing all this training. You're doing all these things. But what guarantees your future are the intangibles.
Good point. Very, very good point. Dan, what do you got coming up this week? It's some big news.
Wow, we're finally here. The Orlando Touchdown Club. We've got Coach Gus Malzahn this Monday night at the tap room at Dub's Dread. 150 plus RSVPs. It's going to be a packed house. Can't wait to hear what Coach Malzahn's got to say about UCF spring ball, the recruiting process here in Central Florida, across the state of Florida, if you will. I think it's going to be a very entertaining evening. I can't wait to see you guys there.
Coach Hayes, talk to us a little bit about what's going on with WRE and some other shows you've got coming up on CoachHayesFootball.com.
All right, man. Well, Dan, I'll definitely be with you on Monday. But for me, as people know, we've already passed our 10,000 mark in less than a year. And so I'm a man of my word. And I said, if the viewers give me the 10,000 subscribers, Coach Hayes is going to run a 10K. Well, guess what? I'm running a 10K on May 1st in Howie in the Hills. So, guys, hopefully that won't be my last episode with you guys. And as I said in the video, hey, we're going to run a 10K and the ambulance is on the way. So All I know is, man, I hope I make it, guys. I hope I didn't put my foot in my mouth when I said that, but we definitely go out there and give it that old college try, and we'll go ahead and hit that 6.2 miles, and hopefully we don't pass out, man. But
well, we'll
as
make
you know,
sure
we do drop.
Hey, me and LaForest may be in the golf cart in front of you, just giving you that little extra motivation coming out and just holding stuff out for you when you're coming through.
I love it. I might need you guys.
Well,
yes,
gentlemen,
definitely.
thank you so much for joining us again tonight. What a great night. I want to thank Larry Blustein one more time for joining us here tonight. Class act all the way around, and we look forward to having him back on the show here in the near future, especially hopefully we get him on with some other people. That would be a great time. So we're going to call it a night. Coach Hayes, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Coach Dan, always a pleasure. So thank you for tuning in tonight here on the Florida Gridiron Report. We'll see you next week here on the Varsity Sports Network.